Welcome to another episode of Vaughan is Local. I'm Daniel with Katie here, and we are happy to be joined today by Crystal and Lance from Gym Guyz Vaughan. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. We love what
us.
you guys are doing. This is a great opportunity for us.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your company?
Certainly. So Gym Guyz is a franchise, a mobile franchise. It started in 2008. The CEO of the company was studying at university full-time and then also was training in a box gym, doing personal training. And one of his clients had said something to him so simple as like, I wish that you could come to me and bring the equipment. So from there, it just, that seed blossomed and grew, and now there's over 200 locations in the US, Canada, and just recently expanded to the UK. So we just love the business concept of it, just really bridging that gap between the kind of that convenience world that we're living in, and not having to go out to the gym and kind of having that service being brought to you. So
Yeah. No, that's great.
Especially now, which I'm sure we'll get to, but yeah, it's people can't and don't want to go anywhere. A lot of people, so that's a real good thing.
Have you been operating during COVID? Has that stopped you, or how has it been?
During COVID, at the start of COVID, the business was kind of slow because I think people are just still looking around, like still wondering what is happening, right, with the world. So eventually, starting last month, things are really picking up. I think people are just tired of waiting for the big box gyms to open, and they seek our service. And so far, we're doing everything online. And hopefully by next month, probably, we're gonna go back to in-home personal training. So.
Yeah. It's been being able to do the online has just been absolutely amazing because our service is so that impersonal, to be able to do it online and still continue through the COVID with our clients and building their strength and mobility and keeping them on that fitness path was just it's been great on both ends for the business, and then also too for us to be able to serve our clients. So
we have a van, right? So it houses over 360 pieces of fitness equipment. So we utilize that and customize that for our clients. So every workout is always different because we always use, we have set up barbells, we have kettlebells, we have an axle, which is a unique equipment that can do everything, like what the barbell does and what the roller does. You can work on your abs, your arms, your cardio, so everything that's everything that you want for a full workout,
So and we bring that equipment to the individual for either the virtual, of course, or the in-home.
Right on. So I would assume you've got people who have been with you and you're going back to them kind of consistently on a program. If someone's getting started and someone gives you a call, how does it work from day one? How does that work for people?
Well, we have just an in-depth conversation with them really about what their fitness goals are, what they're looking for in terms of their goals and needs, nutrition. And then what we would do is we would book an assessment. And so currently we're doing that virtually, but we will be doing it in-home in hopefully a short period of time. So, and what that is just, going over their health history, doing a deeper dive into nutrition, just really looking at things kind of more on a zeroing in level, and then we do a 20-minute fitness kind of test to see where their balance, mobility, strength, and so on. It's just to give us a baseline as to what program we would develop for them and really what that looks like.
And furthermore, if we're doing in-home assessment, we actually have Omron scales, which actually is a scale that measures the visceral fats, for example, the body mass index, the muscle percentage, muscle mass percentage, for example. So, and we can predict also the age of that particular prospect, right? So if they see that they're actually older than that they thought, that maybe there's something that you have to work on, right?
So that assessment, it's really a chance for us to learn about the client, for them to learn about themselves and their body. And that's complimentary. So that would be the first step.
That's really cool.
Awesome.
I'm very intrigued by that because I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are shocked at what they hear based on that assessment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How old I really am.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's do one workout right now.
Yeah,
and then let's start.
All right,
do
yeah,
it.
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't
so
have
we'll
to-
do. We'll do.
Let's do
I
a
guess
simple squat.
We'll do a
Raymond.
squat. So
Okay.
Simple. Wow.
so we'll put our legs shoulder width apart,
Okay.
and we'll just lower your back sides. You want to lower the glutes there.
Okay.
Keeping the neck and the spine aligned. You don't want to push too far forward or too far back. So now just hold that, bringing in, sucking in that belly button, shoulders up, proud chest, and we'll hold this for 30 minutes. How about 30 minutes? Hold this for 30 seconds. And this is something very simple, right? You're just wanting to getting a little bit of movement throughout the day, sitting all day. This is a very simple exercise to be able to do that. And you're just literally, you could be hovering over a chair or just doing it on your own. We got about 5 more seconds here. It's very important to breathe. So we'll take that breath, and then we'll finish with this. All right. Well done.
Oh,
Feeling it.
yeah, my legs are just burned. And that's the thing, like you don't need, I know during COVID, all of these, like all the weights, everybody was trying to find weights desperately, but there's so much you can do with your body weight as well. You can really
Absolutely.
practice.
Yeah. Even we just sitting down. Let's do one more. Let's do that. What we got to
Okay.
do.
Let's do.
This is called the forearm lateral press. You just have to fold your arm like this,
Mhm.
right? No weights involved, and then push it up.
And push your arms together.
Wow.
You feel that?
Right?
Yes.
I know, right?
Rating.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really
So are we
good,
supposed to hold this
Yeah.
up or kind of
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just hold
just
it up.
hold
So
it,
again, just
Then
pushing
pull it down.
your elbows in together,
like
bring it up, and then bringing it down.
You see my hands shaking here?
Yeah.
Arms shaking?
yeah.
Yeah, it's working, right?
Exactly.
Mine is
And then we'll just hold this
Shake means it's working.
for 5 more seconds. It's that, that muscle really penetrating and working.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Awesome.
Oh.
Cool. We might put this into every future interview we do. We might make all of our guests do this.
Oh, yeah.
Do this.
I'll pass it on.
right. It's really good.
It's true though, because like we spend, I'm sure you with virtual and all that, like we're spending so much time sitting and looking at screens now that
Yeah.
our bodies are just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like what we say to our kids, like get off the screen, get it. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll make this mandatory for them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you find is the biggest complaint people have, like, or like, what is the thing that they really want to work on in terms of like a physical goal? Is there like a common theme that you see?
It seems to be weight loss. They're really struggling with that accountability, motivation, because you're only going to push yourself so far, right?
Yeah.
Or do so many sets and you're like, yeah, it's okay. I did 3, versus doing 7 or something like that. So yeah, the accountability, motivation, and also another aspect too is they're just afraid that they're going to hurt themselves because they don't know what to do. Like a lot of the assessments that we've recently done, they have hurt themselves because they're doing something incorrect with the form and so on. So those are kind of, in a nutshell, what some of the things are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to give facts,
Yeah, I've heard that during this period that people kind of fall into the camp of either eating really, really badly and letting themselves go, or they've actually used this as an opportunity to eat homemade food a lot more, which maybe still added on some pounds, but at least it's healthier. Like, do you foresee a pattern, or have you already been experiencing people talking about specific to this period, things that they've encountered?
Oh, that's all the time. People are seeking our help because they want to lose weight, right? That's pretty common.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Weight, that's what they're calling it.
Yes.
Explain everything on that.
Yeah. But most people are coming to us for our service because of they want to lose weight, and it's been difficult for them because they're staying home, especially in this time, difficult times. Yeah. So one of the cool things that we do is to get them up, and then even during the initial talk, and we actually consult them, try to do something in the beginning if you haven't started exercising yet, like walking. It's so simple.
Just to kind of
just
get
walk, right?
things started with them, or just them really moving their bodies. But just back to what you're saying there, Daniel, like I'm a nutritionist, so too we work with the fitness and the nutrition, right? Because the two go hand in hand, really. So we really, dive deep into their nutrition and make adjustments, and in a very realistic way, right? We're not going to put them on this diet that's just not going to be able to they're not going to be able to maintain as a lifestyle. So
that's key, because I've gone to nutritionists before and it's like, cut this and this and this and this, and it's like, well, then how do I live?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've personally been there before, and done that to myself. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then it's on to the next diet and on to the next diet. But it was when I went to Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, that I was like, oh my goodness, like, why all these diets? Like, what about a lifestyle? Isn't that easier? So.
So do you see it as, like, I guess there's a program ideally that gets put into place when you learn more about somebody, but like, does it ever follow almost like a journey? Like, as things go, maybe you hit a roadblock and you take them in another direction, or like, how does it work with how you work with some over time?
It's all a case-by-case scenario. For example, like our age group, our clients is from, right now we have from 17 years old up to 75 years old. So their goals are very different, right? So for younger youth clients, we actually take them to, like, they've been doing a lot of cardio, but they haven't done a lot of strength training. So we're focusing on that part of the workout for them. For seniors, for example, maybe they have issues with mobility, right? They couldn't get up from their chairs, and that's something that we have one of our coaches, really cool. He's specialized in elderly people, help them to bring their physical states back into like the perfect normal state of being, right? So,
like they're at a place where they've lost that mobility and strength, and now the family has to help them with various tasks, daily tasks, like going to the washroom, getting out of bed, and so on. So his journey was just, he's no longer in a wheelchair, and the other day he was actually down on the ground doing one of the exercises with our trainer Tony, and he was like, I cannot believe you got me on the ground, but it's like he's built so much strength in his body to be able to live and do daily tasks and have all this strength. So everyone's journey is like, it is definitely a journey, but it's so different, in how we move forward with lifestyle changes, with the emotional aspect of things, with the physical aspect of things. But we try to encompass all of that, because it's very important.
Yeah.
There's got to be so many stories. Like,
I know, that gives me chills, like, honestly, because just to feel like you've made such an impact on somebody's life, like, if you're not able to be mobile, like, that just, like, the effect that has on you is so significant, and you don't realize it until you're actually, like, if I throw out my back, like, how much that really impacts me on my day-to-day basis.
That's one reason why we in this business, right? Because I used to work in the corporate world for over 20 years.
Okay.
Sitting in front of a computer for 8 to 12 hours a day. My posture was horrible. And my back was killing me. So as soon as I enrolled in this fitness journey, when I was started 10 years ago, it has been really eventful experience for me. Like, it's just awakening for mentally and physically.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, we don't realize some of these people live in pain, right? And they're living in pain because of, maybe not having strength, or, maybe the weight. And it's like, so it's just been like an incredible journey for us to be able to touch so many people's lives and change them in a positive way.
Let's talk about posture. Let's do one more workout with the core.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Posture we need.
So we'll just sit in straight up in our seat. What we're going to do is we're going to bring your bring your knees in, maybe shift your glutes, your buttocks, like towards the front of the chair.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is just raise those knees up so your feet are off the ground. You're engaging the core. Katie, tighten that core. Like, suck in that belly button almost into your spine, and we'll hold this for 15 minutes. 15 seconds, you got this. So just, again, focusing on that breath, engaging the core. you know, don't forget to take that
Breathe.
that deep
That breathe.
That's right.
It's blue.
We're gonna have 6 packs by the end of the interview.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's a challenge.
Yeah. And just, you know, like, I mean, if you want to take this up a level, you can do that on the ground. Yeah, I mean, feel if you need to. Okay, that's good. I think when I forgot it was timing.
Yeah.
That's good though. That's good.
Keep going. Yeah, I mean, core, I don't know, like for me, I find my core is like, that's the biggest challenge, like just trying to work on that. Like when I'm doing exercises and I'm got my feet up in the air, like it's really hard for me not to arch my back. Like, do you have any tips on how to really strengthen that part of you?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you can't put your legs straight up in the air, Katie, when you are on your back, then don't. You know, you should be creating that you know, like that space in between.
Yeah.
So if you can't, you don't, right? And that's okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of it, the core, like, you know, plank or what we just showed you there, but doing that on the ground and bringing your legs up to like a 90-degree angle, working your obliques. There's various, you know, holding the plank on the side or doing weights. But it's such an important part of the body that we just, you know, we need to think about the kind of like strengthening that area now, so there's not back issues later on in life, or, you know, issues within that area.
That's why they call
The
it.
most important thing is to straighten your back and engage your core when you're doing any back exercises. So,
Yeah, just being more conscious of it. I mean, even just sitting, right? Like I'll catch myself on my computer and I'm like hunched over like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta sit up. Yeah.
Well,
so how often, like, so if when somebody books an appointment, is it like a half hour, how often, or does it depend on the person?
So our sessions are all 1 hour in time. That includes a warm up and a cool down, and then everything kind of in between for that individual.
Okay.
And then some of our clients, we usually see them a minimum of at least twice a week, and then others 4 times a week. It really is based on their schedule. Kind of the beauty of our service is they tell us what time they want to train, and we just bring it to them. So, you know, we work with the individuals' schedule. So there's really no excuse when we come to you and when we're working with your schedule, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so you said you've got a van with 8 billion pieces of equipment in it. So for them, do they need to know anything on their end? Like, do they need a certain space that's a certain size, or what do they need to be prepared with for when you arrive?
they don't need a lot of space, maybe 6 by 6. That's enough, plenty enough room actually to do.
Even in today's real estate, people have a 6 by 6 stage.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can do it. Like you can do it in their living room, backyard, or we can
garage.
go.
I mean,
this beautiful weather that we have right now, we can do it in the park, right? So yeah, any place that if the client wants to work out, you can do it anywhere. Yeah, even in the office, right? So
yeah.
Have you done that? Have you gone to people's offices to?
We'll have asked. Yes, we done that.
Wow.
For some of our clients. Yeah.
And it's usually like kind of at the end of the day where they're like, okay, I just finished on my work. I want to get in my workout. I want to go home and, you know, shower, cook dinner, and relax. So it's that kind of that convenience aspect. They're wanting to tag it on to their work. So, which is great.
Yeah.
Cool. So where are people going to find you now? Everyone wants to book, but they need to know, you know, what website, phone numbers, all that, social, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's let
So we
everyone
will just say, in terms of the area that we service, it's everything in Vaughan. So Kleinburg, Woodbridge, Thornhill, Concord, and Maple. We can be reached at 289-807-2839. And
our website is www.gymguyz, that's GYMGUYZ.
There it is, yeah.
/Vaughan.
Yes, /Vaughan. Vaughan is our territory.
Okay. Perfect. And you're on Instagram too, right?
Yes.
Yes, we are Instagram, Facebook, yeah.
And it's at Gym Guyz Vaughan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. I follow you guys. I see your van. It looks super cool and looks like it's got a lot of stuff. So that's really exciting. Yeah. Perfect. Anything else? Like any plans for the rest of the year? Like any goals that you've got set up for yourself?
Well, I think just gonna maintain, the best experience that service that we have for our clients, and our future clients, And
building our team.
Yeah, building our teams too.
Connecting with the community, like this is so important to us. And that's why, like Katie, Daniel, we love what you're doing. Like this is, giving business owners the opportunity to share what their service is like this. Thank you. Because community means like so much to us.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why, why we ventured into this, this career. So thank you for what you're doing for our Vaughan community.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being on, and thank you for also making such a big difference to everybody that you're working with, because it's so inspiring.
Yeah,
really
not to take anything away from other interviews, but health genuinely is what's most important for everybody, and so what you're doing is necessary. So people who aren't taking care of themselves, whether or not they're calling you, they need to really get healthy. Everyone needs to really focus on that. All of us.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just got my 1 minute of workout, so I'm good.
We need one more exercise. Do you have one more for us?
Oh yeah, let's do one more. So this one is this is really good to do. Let's say if you're feeling overwhelmed throughout the day, or you can't sleep at night, or before you're going to eat a meal, it's just that deep belly breathe. So we tend to breathe within our chest, but let's just take a few breaths and bring it right down to the belly and really expand that abdominal area. So breathing in and just really expanding, like pushing that belly almost out. And then in again, and pushing that belly out.
Feel relaxed already.
And what this does is, so the nervous system has two, there's a parasympathetic and a sympathetic. We often live in the sympathetic, and we should be more in a state of parasympathetic, which is that rest and digest. So something like this, just back to what I had said about before you eat a meal, taking those deep belly breaths. If you're, at night, if you're having trouble sleeping, just take a few deep breaths a day. Really is, our body deserves it.
Ah, that's great.
So if I always have trouble sleeping, should I sit up to do this, or can I do it when I'm lying down?
No, just do it when you're lying down, and just, be mindful of pushing out that belly, really trying to get that breath in there deep into the abdominal area. I know at first when you do it a few times, you're like, well, what do you mean? Like, and it just feels like there's no rhythm, right? But that's okay. You do it a couple times and you bring that mindfulness to, bring your mind attention to the body, and then you get it. And you're like, oh, okay, now I know what that real deep belly breath is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, thank you. We really appreciate you guys being on. Guys, if you want to get an amazing workout, get your health in check, contact, there's my hair. Crystal and Lance from the Gym Guyz Vaughan. They will be happy to assist you, and we're so happy that you were able to make it on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
all the
having us.
best, everybody.
Yes, same to you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye now.